you get me Mr. Moynihan? He's either at the UN or at Harvard.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I've reached Dr. Moynihan for you, sir. There you are.
Hello?
Good morning, Mr. President.
Where are you?
I'm in New York writing a speech which I'm going to give today at the United Nations and give the Russians a little hell, son of a bitch.
Right, good. Have you got a minute or is it bad time?
I do, sir.
A couple of questions. Has Coleman demonstrated the fact that where you put blacks, or for that matter, underprivileged Chicanos or anybody else, blacks in with whites integrated, that it raises the blacks and does not bring down the whites? Is that clear?
Yes, up to a point of...
Now, the second point I raised then, and I raised this, and this is really hitting at the nerve center.
Mm-hmm.
Is this true when you have an integrated faculty? Now let's suppose. Let's take for example where my daughter was teaching. She broke her foot.
Yeah.
Or was going to teach. Let's suppose, Pat, that you've got a black, graduated from a good black college in the South, teaching English. Now, do you believe that she can teach English?
We've got some...
I don't know. I'm not.
Could I
just
ask
don't know.
to send you a short note on this? But
Yeah.
we can give you fairly exact answers.
Yeah. The reason I have to know it is that as I go for programs, I must know that that they have basic weaknesses. That even in Sweden, the ultimate example, and in Britain, the less ultimate example, that they still have a tremendous emphasis on the work ethic. In other words, that going on welfare just sort of ain't the thing people ought to do. Now, that is, of course, the reason why the work requirement thing is so important here. I mean,
Damn right.
Everybody says, well, God, you can't award the work requirements only for the purpose of making these poor colored women, who can't work and with little babies coming every month, or it's every 9 months, I believe. Anyway, whatever the case is, you can't make them work. All of their leaders, Pat.
Sure.
Now, let's take Haiti. Haiti's right our neighbor here. Now, what I'm simply saying now that is this: I'm not saying that blacks cannot govern. I am saying they have a hell of a time. Now, that must demonstrate something. Now, having said that, let's look at Latin America. Latin America's had 150 years of trying at it, and they don't have much going down there either. Speaking of Latins generally, have never been very good at government.
Yeah.
Now let's look at that. The Italians aren't any good at government. The Spanish aren't any good at government.
Yeah.
The French have had a hell of a time, and they're half Latin. And all of Latin America is not any good at government. Looking at the black countries, of course, there are only two old ones. Haiti is an old one, and Liberia is a very old one. Ethiopia is a very old one. But they have a hell of a time running the place.
It's a pretty miserable world.
Now you look at Asia, and you can say, well, what about out there? You don't have democracies. Of course you don't, except Japan, where we imposed it, and the Philippines, and it's a hell of a mess. But on the other hand, Thailand, with its oligarchy, has the right kind of a government for Thailand. And we have to say, too, that Iran, with a benevolent Shah,
Pretty well.
with a benevolent Shah, that's the right thing for those folks, I think. Now, what I'm getting back a long way around is this. I think something could be that's eventually going to come out here is this: that in this right beneath the surface, this old black-white deal is going to come out the fact that Asians are capable of governing themselves one way or another. We and the Caucasians have learned it after slaughtering each other in religious wars and other wars for many, many years, including a couple in this century.
Sure.
The Latins do it in a miserable way, but they do it. But the Africans just can't run things. Now, this is a very, very fundamental point in the international scene. See my point?
Oh, boy, you sure see it around this place.
Well, yeah, of course you do. You see them. I have mixed feelings. I receive their ambassadors. They change all the time, and I've had I love them. They're so kind and so nice. And they're children.
Yeah.
Children.
Yeah.
Huh?
And they always want something like children.
Oh, God, yes, they want. Well, what can you do? I know, but what I meant is it's so childlike, the childlike faith and this and that. And, of course, a lot of them are crooks, but we have crooks, too. Anyway,
Because I don't want to see this country go that way.
Well, you know,
you ever see what happened? You know what happened to the Greeks? Homosexuality destroyed them. Sure, Aristotle was a homo. We all know that. But with Socrates,
he never had the influence of television.
yeah. You know what happened to the Romans? The last 6 Roman emperors were fags. The last 6. Nero had a public wedding with a boy. Yeah. And they stopped. You know that. You know what happened to the popes? It's all right, the popes were laying the nuns. That's been going on for years, centuries. But when the popes, when the Catholic Church went to hell, in, I don't know, 3 or 4 centuries ago, it was homosexual, and finally had to be cleaned out. Now, that's what's happened to Britain. It happened earlier to France. And let's look at the strong society, the Russians. God damn it, they root them out. They don't let them around at all. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do with them. Now, we are allowing this in this country. We'll destroy the country. Dope. Do you think the Russians allow dope? Hell no. Not if they can allow it. Not if they can catch it. They send them up. You see, homosexuality, dope, immorality generally, these are the enemies of strong societies. That's why the communists and the left-wingers are pushing each other. They're trying to destroy us.
Yeah.